my ex cheated, and honestly, I'm not even surprised. It started with the small things. Him being glued to his phone, which, okay, he's in sales. He has to be glued to his phone. But it was different. He'd angle the screen away from me. A weird little maneuver that I initially chalked up to paranoia on my part. Mark and I had been together for 3 years. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party, and I was immediately drawn to his easy charm and confident smile. He was the kind of guy who could talk to anyone, and he made me feel like I was the only person in the room. Our relationship had been pretty smooth sailing. We had our disagreements, of course, but we always managed to work through them. Except, lately, the disagreements felt different. More pointed. He'd get defensive over the smallest things, like the time I asked him if he'd picked up the dry cleaning. He snapped at me, saying I was always nagging him. It came out of nowhere. Emily, my best friend since kindergarten, never really liked Mark. She said she couldn't put her finger on it, but there was something about him that felt off. "He's too smooth, Sarah," she'd say. Like he's trying too hard to be likable. I always brushed it off. Emily can be a bit cynical, and I thought she was just being overly protective. David, a coworker in the design department, was another story. He was quiet and thoughtful, with a dry wit that always made me laugh. We'd often grab coffee together during our breaks, and I found myself enjoying our conversations more and more. There was nothing romantic about it, at least not that I could tell, but there was a comfortable easiness between us that I appreciated. Then came the lipstick. A bright, almost offensively red smear on the collar of his favorite dress shirt. I don't wear lipstick, let alone that shade. "Oh? That?" he chuckled nervously. Must have gotten it at the dry cleaner. You know how they are, always mixing things up. Dry cleaner lipstick. Right. I wanted to believe him. I really did. But the seed of doubt had been planted, and it was starting to sprout. That night, I found myself scrolling through his Instagram feed, something I hadn't done in months. Just looking for anything. I found nothing overtly suspicious, but something felt wrong. He'd recently started following a bunch of new women, younger women, most of them with profiles full of selfies and inspirational quotes. One name stood out: Jessica. Jessica worked in Mark's office. I'd seen her at a company holiday party. Young, ambitious, and undeniably attractive. I mentioned her name casually the next time Mark and I were out for dinner. "Oh yeah, Jessica," he said, not missing a beat. "She's in sales. Sharp girl. Always trying to climb the ladder. Too casual. Way too casual." A week later, I was borrowing his phone to look up directions. My own phone was dead when a text message popped up. "Can't wait to see you tonight." The sender was listed as Jake. Jake. Right. I confronted him. He denied everything, of course. Said it was a client, a new contact. I was being insecure, jealous. I was suffocating him. "You're turning into someone I don't even recognize," he said, his voice dripping with accusation. That stung. Maybe I was being paranoid. Maybe I was overreacting. I apologized. He accepted it, but the tension in the air was thick enough to cut with a knife. I confided in David. He listened patiently, without judgment. "Trust your gut, Sarah," he said finally. "You know him better than anyone else. If something feels wrong, it probably is." Easier said than done. Mark planned a weekend getaway. A secluded cabin in the mountains. Romantic, right? Except he was distant the entire time, glued to his phone again, making excuses to step outside for calls. One evening, after a particularly tense dinner, I accidentally left my phone in his condo. I said I was going to run to the store to grab something, and that he shouldn't worry, I would be quick. My phone, of course, was set to record. I felt like a crazy person, but I needed to know. The next day, I was swamped at work. The alarm on my car kept going off for no apparent reason. Irritated, I rushed down to the parking lot, thinking I'd have to call a tow truck. But as I got closer, I saw a note taped to my windshield. It was from Mark. Car alarm fixed. See you tonight. M. He'd taken my keys to fix the alarm. I was touched. Maybe I was wrong about him. Maybe I was just letting my insecurities get the best of me. That feeling lasted about 5 minutes. When I got back to my desk, I remembered my phone was in Mark's apartment. The audio was damning. His voice, clear as a bell, on the phone with Jessica. Yeah, the coast is clear. She's at work. Come over around 8? I'll order takeout. A pause. Then, a low chuckle. I know, I miss you too. My world tilted. The floor seemed to vanish beneath my feet. I felt a wave of nausea rising in my throat. He was cheating on me. He was actually cheating on me. I wanted to scream. I wanted to break things. I wanted to break things. I wanted to disappear. Instead, I calmly downloaded the audio file and emailed it to myself. Then, I went back to my desk and finished my work. I needed to stay focused. I needed to stay in control. That evening, when Mark walked through the door, all smiles and oblivious to the storm brewing inside me, I was waiting. How was your day? He asked, trying to kiss me. I recoiled. Don't touch me. His smile faltered. What's wrong? I played the audio, every excruciating second. His face went white. He stammered, tried to deny it, but the evidence was irrefutable. Who is she, Mark? I asked, my voice shaking. He finally confessed. Jessica. It had been going on for a few weeks. He said it was just a mistake, a moment of weakness. He still loved me. Don't you dare, I said, my voice rising. Don't you dare try to make me feel sorry for you. You lied to me. You betrayed me. You broke my heart. He tried to touch me again, to apologize, to beg for forgiveness. Get out, I said, pointing to the door. Get out of my apartment. Get out of my life. He pleaded, he cried, he promised to change. I didn't budge. I'm done, I said. My voice cold and die. We're done. He left. Eventually. But the pain lingered. Emily was there for me as always. She brought over ice cream and wine and listened to me sob for hours. She didn't say I told you so, but I knew she was thinking it. The next few weeks were a blur. I focused on work, on surrounding myself with friends and family, on trying to piece my life back together. Mark tried to contact me, on trying to piece my life back together. He called, he texted, he even showed up at my apartment a few times. I ignored him. I couldn't bear to hear his voice. I learned that Jessica was young, naive. She probably didn't know the full extent of Mark's lies. Part of me felt sorry for her. Another part of me wanted to scream at her. I did neither. It wasn't her fault. Mark was the problem. I started seeing a therapist. She helped me process my emotions, to understand why I had stayed in the relationship for so long, to recognize the red flags I had ignored. One day, I ran into Mark at a coffee shop. He looked terrible, tired, defeated. Sarah, he said, his voice cracking, please, I miss you. I made a mistake. Can we talk? I looked at him, really looked at him, and I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, no longing. Just emptiness. There's nothing to talk about, Mark, I said, my voice calm and steady. It's over. He tried to argue, to plead, but I cut him off. I deserve better than this, I said. And so does Jessica. I turned and walked away, leaving him standing there, alone. It wasn't a happy ending, not exactly, but it was a new beginning. I started taking a pottery class, something I'd always wanted to do. I reconnected with old friends. I focused on my career. David was a constant source of support. He didn't try to push me into anything, but he was always there to listen, to offer a kind word, to make me laugh. I started to see him in a new light. A genuine, caring light. I'm not sure what the future holds. I'm not sure if I'm ready for another relationship. But I know that I'm stronger now, more resilient, and I know that I deserve to be with someone who values me, who respects me, and who would never betray me. I'm still healing, but I'm moving forward, and that's all that matters.